Hello everyone, I am Zoeb Mohammad Zia, Assistant Professor at PG and Research Department of Zoology at the New College in Chennai. So today we are going to be discussing briefly about T cell receptors. And before we begin the topic on T cell receptors, you, we'll discuss a little basic about the T cells. So as you must be knowing, T cells are immune cells, lymphocytes, T lymphocytes that are produced in the bone marrow and mature in the thymus of your body. And as the name suggests, you can understand uh, these are receptors. So receptors are found on the surface of the cells. So you can understand here these are receptors that are found on the surface of T cells, also abbreviated as TCRs, that is T cell receptors. So now talking about the actual structure of the T cell receptor, you can see that it is actually not just a receptor, it is a whole complex. So this what you see here is called a T cell receptor complex, and it has been shown that there are about 10,000 to 30,000 identical T cell receptors on the surface of a T cell. So, talking about the structure now, T cell receptor consists of a protein complex containing alpha chain, which is here. This peptide chain is called the alpha chain. This peptide chain is called the beta chain. So, this alpha chain and beta chain together form the T cell receptor, which is just the protein here. And obviously it has to work in conjunction with this whole complex here that you see. This whole complex is a T cell receptor complex, just as two peptide chains, in this case the alpha chain and the beta chain together, are called a T cell receptor. Okay, so here talking about this peptide, uh, these two peptides are transmembrane peptides, transmembrane protein. That is, it spans from outside the membrane. Imagine this gray part is the membrane. So, this protein spans from outside the membrane through the membrane and into the membrane. This part is the cytoplasmic part. This short tail that you can see is a cytoplasmic tail which actually protrudes into the cell here. Now talking about this extramembranic part, that is the part which is outside. The outermost part that you see here on the alpha chain, the outermost part, as well as the outermost part on the beta chain, these parts are called the variable regions. These inner parts, inner to the variable regions, are the constant regions here. Now, these two dent-like things that you can visualize here are the regions of the antigen binding. Obviously, a receptor to activate the T cell, it has to bind to a antigen, and the antigen binds here at this location. So this is called the region of antigen binding. Now how it works to activate the T cell receptor is, uh, as you can see here, this cytoplasmic tail of the peptide here, the alpha peptide, alpha chain, as well as the beta chain, they have a very small cytoplasmic tail. which is not actually enough to produce a signaling cascade which is required to activate the T cells. That is where this whole complex comes in. So once again, this complex consists of the alpha chain and beta chain, which we have already discussed. It also consists of CD3 protein, which is actually these peptide chains that you see here. This is gamma epsilon. Together they form one protein. This is delta epsilon. Together they form one protein, and that protein is called CD3. So apart from that CD3 molecule, they also have these two chains, which are the zeta chains. So this complex working together can be activated by an antigen binding at this region. Then a cascade of cellular signaling is activated, which finally activates the T cell receptor. And this was a brief description of the T cell receptor and how it helps in activating the T cell.